Hello YouTube and welcome back to Old Flads. This is Ace of Spades. This is the custom map review part 10, and boy have I got a great map again for you today. I've been spoiled, I've been really spoiled. This is Busted Battlefield, a bombed out city that reminded me a lot of like pictures of Dresden after the pounding they took. This is made by Creeper's Shadow, and I've changed the format for today, so we're going to have a different style to the way that I'm going to go about this. Please let me know what you think, because I want to try and improve it as best I can. So we're going to move into spawns first. The spawns in this game are very well positioned, and not only because of how they've been made and where they are in relationship to the map, it's really to do with the way that you can actually impact the game as soon as you get out of your spawn. As you see, there's multiple routes and huge protection from the surrounding buildings, even though a lot of them are bombed out. Huge protection from snipers, from sniper rape in there, and that goes for both sides. Okay, blues will start on the boat, greens will start on their own little private fort, and both of these can go flanking left and right straight out of the bat. I know I talk about it a lot, okay, but it's important that you shouldn't feel like you're going to be pinned in. You should be able to move out of your spawn, impact the map straight away, and to be honest, this is one of the maps, one of the very few maps I might add, where a straight line approach is as good as anything else. And I know I don't say that a lot, but there's so much going on in the middle of the map with regards to buildings that you can move through with the pretty safe bet that you're going to be hidden for the majority of your time. It actually allows you to cut down what is a very big map and still be safe at the same time. I really love that. Okay, so the main routes that you're going to be taking through this entire map are largely dedicated by the roads. Now the roads create these huge long sight lines, and that's a good thing. It's also a bad thing if you stick to the roads. Now, while I say that the roads sort of govern the routes you're going to want to take, they do sort of skirt around the edge of the map. Now, I would suggest utilising a mixed approach no matter what you're doing with this, because it is very easy to get into the sort of trap, if you like, of assuming that when I talk about flanking, I mean flank all the time. This is a very unique map in which it has so much built up area and cover that you can actually take your routes directly through and probably take one of 20 different routes just by going in a straight line. That's a very clever idea, and it makes for some excellent gameplay as well. Now, when you are skirting around the edges, be aware of the fact that because the main roads are there, people are going to be trying to get on them themselves. So it would probably be better if you tried to stick into the buildings on the edges of these roads and then try and move through, literally busting your way through. I think that offers you a far more protective route while still giving you the opportunity to stay fairly well in touch with the centre of the map. Like I said, it is a very big map. Now we move on to key locations. Now key locations in this map are dominated largely by the rooftops. Now the rooftops are pretty cool between these buildings, or I say the rooftops, sort of the upper levels of these buildings. You can actually create catwalks and movement areas in between all these buildings using the prefabs. That makes key areas such as what you're looking at now, this middle clump of trees, incredibly important to actually navigate through. And you might be thinking, well, why would the middle of the map be sensible to navigate through? This has probably got the best cover of the lot if you're on the floor. As you can see from there, the trees have been so well implemented that they touch together, they touch the buildings, and we actually tried to take those down, and we literally couldn't do it because of the amount of debris that we had to try and slide through, simply to try and make a path through all the trees. It makes for some excellent CQB as well. Now that centre part is probably the most important bit if you're going to go on a straight line, but I think the most important bit is control of the roofs and of the upper levels with regards to your sniping. There's plenty of places to go, so don't think you're going to be like jammed into one area. There is a lot of places that you can go, and there's a lot of places that you can actually really benefit your team simply by controlling lanes, because as you can see here, you control a very wide arc of fire. Very important to get involved with that early, get up there, get posted, and then try and control areas in which the enemy are going to be able to run. Okay, so let's move on to the scores now. I really did enjoy this map, so I'm just going to get them straight out of the way. I want to try and cut this down so that you guys can comment on it as best you like. Aesthetics, I've given it a 10. Creativity, I've given it a 10. and I know you might be thinking, well, Flads, you're not really giving reasons. I want you guys to comment on what you think of my scores are instead of me just explaining them. So we've got aesthetics a 10, creativity of 10, usage of map is also a 10. Now that's something that you may think, well, I'm not going to use all of it. I implore you to use all of it. If you don't, I think you're just going to find yourself getting killed quite a lot, because lots of people are going to go straight line, and whilst I said you can do it, I wouldn't suggest it's the best idea in the world to try and do that all the time. Okay, so we're going next on to game modes. There are 8 game modes available. It's classic, CTF, CTF, multi-hill, occupation, TDM, territory control, VIP and zombie. So there's 8 out of 10 for that. So what are we up to? That's 38 out of 50 so far. Longevity prediction. Whilst this is a very big map, I also think it's a very good map. Once you get lots of players in here, it is actually fun. We were playing as little as 2v2 and it was still providing huge amounts of fun. That's something that's very difficult to achieve on a big map. But because of the way it played out and because of the opportunity you have to attack from so many angles, actually made the whole thing really enjoyable. So for longevity prediction, I'm going to give it a 10 as well. So we've got 10, 10, 10, 8, 10, a total of 48. That's a whacking great score. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10 because I just love it. I hope you enjoyed the new format, guys, and please let me know what you think about my scores and my short and sort of series if you like. If you want me to change it back, then fine. If not, then great. Cheers and goodbye.